Hi folks, I recently reviewed the British Army lightweight waterproof Gore-Tex jacket, and in that video I mentioned that that was often designed to go under the smock. So now I thought it would be time to show you an example of the British Army smock. Now this is perhaps a little bit of a more rare example, and I'll explain why. Let's just go to the label. Okay, hopefully you can see that. So it says Smock Petroleum Protective. Okay, as part of the British Army they have the Royal Logistic Corps, and as part of that there are specific trades such as petroleum operator, and their job is to, even in battle conditions, set up an advanced fueling system for the Army's vehicles, obviously armoured fighting vehicles, etc. So I think this particular smock is designed for that trade. There is also then an infantry version which is slightly different to this. So petroleum protective, MVP, moisture vapor permeable, MTP, multi-train pattern, which is the Army camouflage system, and IRR. Now I'm not sure what that means, and somebody might advise, but I think it might mean something to do with infrared equipment. So maybe it's got some anti-infrared properties about it. We can see it is British Army because it's got the arrow. There's the NATO stock number, and again, if you didn't watch the previous video, you can tell the country of origin by two letters here, which is 99. That means it's the UK. Other NATO countries have other numbers, of course. America being 1, I think, and the Netherlands being 17, if I've got that correctly. The size, now this is a very large size for me, but it was the one available, plus, you know, I'm intending using this in the winter time. It is a heavy jacket, but underneath this you could then put base layers and intermediate layers, or whatever you want to create a warmer environment for yourself. There's a contract number there, place for a name and serial number. It's made from 100% polyamide, nylon that is, and again, if you didn't watch the other video, nylon was the trade name of DuPont, who invented it just before the Second World War. PTFE membrane, that's Gore-Tex, and the origin is May 2015. And then you've got the camouflage pattern design number, because the British government and British Army worked in conjunction with Cryer Industries in America on their multicam system to develop the own MTP design for the British Army. We're using multicam as the base, and with some elements of the older DPM system. Okay, then it's obviously the cleaning process, etc. Now, it's a fairly heavy duty piece, this. Something that's different from the infantry version is there's only 2 pockets on this, on the chest, at the top. There's no pockets lower down, which there is on the other version. Not quite sure why that is, and somebody might want to indicate. I don't know if that's a safety feature again, or why that would be. It should have a draw cord here on the waist. This one's not got that, it's missing. You can see the place where it's designed to go. It has got at the base a draw cord system to tighten it up around the bottom, obviously to stop wind, etc. blowing through the jacket. Try and put that down, open that up. It's got the nylon zips, and then, as you could see, it's got a Velcro over close as well. The cuffs are slightly different again on this one, I think, compared to the standard, let's call it infantry version. This has not got the Velcro closers. It's got like a cloth piece that goes around your wrist. Now, I guess that is obviously to stop weather going up your wrist, but maybe it's also to stop fuels entering. If somebody's pouring out petroleum or whatever, maybe it's to stop that going up somebody's arm. Again, somebody could perhaps advise on that. But I think that's different from the standard infantry pattern, so to speak. So this is part of the PCS, personal clothing system, I think it's called. It's got a hood. I won't pull that out at the moment because I'm struggling to do this with the camera. It has a built-in hood. It's also got a built-in, it's got like a floating pocket here. Not quite sure what the idea of that is. It's got a built-in internal pocket. That is sort of separate from on these tabs away from the main jacket. It's got two pockets that are mentioned on the front. They're on press studs. I think they're on press studs. No, these are on, sorry, these are on Velcro. Velcro pockets there. Again, quite a heavyweight piece of kit, combined with other items. I'm sure that's going to be very waterproof and again windproof, and you know, if you've got thermals on, etc, etc, then it should be quite a good piece of equipment for the winter time. So, British Army smock. I think the original smock goes back to the Second World War, when you had the paratroopers of the airborne troops had what was called the Denison smock. And then tradition of smock seems to have carried on now in the army. Smock meaning what? Something that goes over other clothes, basically. It's an outer shell type piece to go over. So it's Gore-Tex lined, seams are taped. Again, not used this yet. Probably won't be using it at the moment until perhaps next winter, although the weather's not that great at the moment in the end of March here in the UK, moving into April. So that's the British Army smock. Again, price wise, that cost me £45 sterling, which I think is the sort of going price. But as I mentioned, I think this particular model is perhaps rarer to find, in as much as it's as it mentioned, petroleum smock, where most of them will be the standard infantry combat smock. Yeah, it's not got any pockets lower down. Not sure that's going to be a bit of an issue, because you know, I get used to, perhaps many do, when it is cold, sort of putting your hands in the pockets. Obviously you've got a good pair of gloves on, you don't need to do that, but it's a bit of a habit sort of thing. So I'll have to see how I get on with this. I say it's quite a large, for me it's quite large, too large in one way, but I don't think it will be once I've got other items of equipment, other items of clothing rather. These breast pockets are obviously quite a large in themselves. Probably get quite a lot of stuff in there if you wanted to. So yeah, so the British Army Smock Petroleum, and I'll, again, sometime in the future, after using it, I'll come back and give another review on it. Take care.